Okay, let's just get started in this movie. This is an Amazon movie and telling you some things that you may not have known about in the past. But now let me fill you in on some of the things. This work from home that you see on the screen that Amazon is offering up to $87.22 an hour for you to work from home. And what this is also doing is introducing you to a huge discount methods for buying from Amazon. You can go to buy Can You See I See You, and Can You See I See You is really all about you having an opportunity to see those things that you need to see to prevent people from doing things to you that you may not want them to do. In the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., in the United States of America, it is known that according to the statistics that we heard even this latest this morning, that the Washington, D.C. is the #1 city in the nation for car theft. So what this problem is resolved now through this Can You See I See You process. Can You See I See You is a dash cam, and what we are doing in this opportunity now is affording you to get a dash cam for much less than what you would perhaps get it from any other sources from Amazon, and you can do that through buycanyouseicu.com. That's right above the CEO of Amazon's head, Jeff Bezos. He is the CEO of Amazon, and you can buy Can You See I See You, the dash cams, at a huge reduced price if you act now. Now also you can get glide cycles, and glide cycles is something that's innovative for persons who maybe need exercise. They could have had an accident or need some kind of physical therapy for walking again. Well, make sure you pay attention to this movie about the glide cycle and show you can share it with other people. We recommend that you share this with at least 10 people and have those 10 people to then share it with an additional 10 people. And that way, this process will then be working for everybody who needs a glide cycle. Okay, so make sure you pay close attention. You also see on the screens at CanYouSeeICU.com. CanYouSeeICU.com is a video showing you detailed information about Amazon that you perhaps didn't know, and also giving you some insights on how you can actually get anything that you need from Amazon at a huge discount at BuyCanYouSeeICU.com. BuyCanYouSeeICU.com is an opportunity for you to buy whatever it is you like. We recommend these two things now because the glide cycle is for persons who may not realize that they can now walk again using the glide cycle, and those persons who need cameras in their automobile, or the dash cams as it were, in the automobile to prevent people from taking advantage of you in your automobile. You can lower your insurance rates on your automobile by having dash cams in your automobile. And your dash cam now is actually putting your automobile in the palm of your hand. That is to say, when you get out of your car, your dash cam is left on, and a person should come to your car and steal your car, as they're doing it in the nation's capital or any other city in America or outside of America. If they come to steal your car, the person who's stealing your car is actually on film in the palm of your hand. Even if they take the car with the camera in it, you still would have that individual's information in your palm of your hand on your phone, and you can share it with the police immediately and apprehend the person that takes things out of your car, including the car itself. So we're going to conclude this part of this presentation. We want you to watch the entire presentation, and we'll be back at the end to conclude it, to give you some thoughts, additional thoughts that has not been presented at this point. Okay, so let us go forward now on down to the end of the presentation. Okay, watch this.
So what did you do at work today? Chances are good that on this Cyber Monday there was some point, click, and buy going on. A record-breaking $1.5 billion worth of merchandise is expected to have been ordered online today, and no one ships more orders than Amazon. It's a company known for its competitiveness and its secrecy. But ABC's Neil Karlinsky was allowed inside to see the Amazon magic.
This is what the inner world of Amazon looks like on Cyber Monday. Capitalism on parade. Nightline was invited in for a rare glimpse at one of its 80 huge fulfillment centers strategically sprinkled around the globe.
Look down the aisle here. That's a lot of stuff.
To find out what happens when you point, click, and buy. A process that follows miles of conveyor belts inside a massive building like this. But first, an experiment.
They say this is the hot video game. I'm going to order it.
We place an order, Just Dance 4. If all goes according to plan, we'll follow it from the shelf to my doorstep.
Let's go see if it shows up in here.
This 1.2 million square foot Amazon warehouse is the unseen shopping mall that never closes.
It occurs to me, it's kind of funny, it's sort of like Noah's Ark. I mean, you sort of have one of everything around here. I mean, soccer ball, Hello Kitty, we got a backpack, we got a tablecloth.
Carry as much as we can.
Josh Teeter, a former military intelligence officer, is the center's general manager, meaning he's a little bit like an air traffic controller for online shopping.
You know, I tried to do a search to see if I could find something that you wouldn't have. And I searched for a pink tuxedo. And you guys have a pink tuxedo available.
Well, I guess you're not the only one that wants that.
We watch as my order pops up on a scanner, gets plucked from a shelf by hand, and then dropped into a barcoded yellow bin.
This is the one you bought.
I mean, this is literally mine.
That will arrive at your house in a couple days.
The Amazon people let us draw a smiley face on our bin so we can follow it on a wild ride through a winding maze. Amazon recently added a small army of extra workers in these fulfillment centers just to handle the holidays. All those electronics, tie-dye fashion kits, and heated pet bowls that absolutely must get out the door and fast.
Is it a pressure cooker working in here?
It gets very busy at this time, and folks work hard for sure, but we bring in help. We're hiring 50,000 seasonal employees to help meet that demand.
Amazon has faced serious complaints that workers are pushed to the limit in tough conditions.
Safety is number one with us. These are well-paying jobs. We pay 30% more than traditional retail.
Sorry to interrupt, what do you got going on here?
Oh, just shipping things off to people.
Somebody's getting a happy Hannah Montana camera.
You quickly learn walking the aisles here that Amazon is barcode heaven. Everything has a code to find it, to ship it, to track it. But how can they have everything from medieval chainmail to clock oil and binocular magnifying glasses on hand at all times? Only part of the answer is huge inventory. The other part comes from small business owners like Dan O'Donnell, whose tiny jewelry supply store, which sells that clock oil, has exploded by selling through Amazon, meaning their stuff shows up on Amazon's website, and Amazon gets a cut of the action.
Right now we have about 150,000 SKUs that we offer on Amazon.
150,000 items, just from you.
Just from us, yes.
The company doesn't only sell just about everything, it uses sophisticated programs to track your online habits, a fully customized shopping experience to not only match prices, but increasingly match your desires.
We have teams of super smart people who build algorithms to create personalized recommendations for our customers.
I don't even know what this is.
But despite the huge inventory and third-party sellers, Amazon still can't guarantee the lowest prices, so consumers are urged to shop around. Meanwhile, our happy yellow bin shows up right on cue.
It's traveled about a mile since we saw it last, and now it's nearing the end.
As it is pulled off and boxed, we add a message inside just to make sure what shows up really is the same item.
All right, I'll see this at home.
48 hours later,
Here it is.
a box was sitting on my doorstep.
Crack it open. And there's our game. And it's our message. Happy holidays from ABC News.
They may call it Cyber Monday, but at Amazon, it never ends. I'm Neil Karlinski for Nightline in Phoenix.
I'm a lifelong athlete, like so many of us. I wanted to run again. I wanted to run my whole life. But in my mid-50s, my knees gave out, my hip gave out a little bit. I was inspired by a banana plantation I visited where the bananas were put in baskets and the guys would grab the banana basket and push it. Once it started going along a wire that it was hanging from, they ran like the wind without their body weight. I spent some time running there and decided I had to learn how to run without my body weight.
The Jog-Along stroller was created to embrace the flow of your body's natural movement, allowing you to spend more time with your child outdoors. The smooth motion of the arms automatically adjusts to your natural arm movement. You can run or walk at any speed. There are no stroller adjustments to make. It follows your lead. The Jog-Along is your outdoor partner when you and your child are on the move. With the arms locked and caster wheels on the front, it's very mobile for a casual stroll. And for a low-impact workout, it's a true complement to you walking or power walking. And when running, you will celebrate your performance. It also easily converts to a bicycle trailer. The Jog-Along stroller supports an active family's lifestyle. By sharing the experience, you set a foundation for a lifelong love of being outside and physical activity. Using the Jog-Along will help you sustain your fitness activity time as it works with your body's natural motion. Your child is secure in a 5-point safety harness and safely surrounded by a high-strength, lightweight aluminum frame. The Jog-Along folds compactly for easy storage or transport. There are many features already built into the Jog-Along stroller, like adjustable suspension, a peekaboo window, and water bottle holders, to name a few. As runners ourselves, we agree that restrictions on your free running form can reduce your desire to use a traditional jogging stroller. The Jog-Along works with your body's natural arm swing, making it easier for you to be active with your child.
it be amazing that no matter where you go in the world, there's always a bike waiting for you. The idea for Air Donkey grew from a dream of a world where commuters, tourists, and also people just enjoying the city choose the bike before the car. Hello, my name is Erdem.
And I'm Alexander.
We are from Air Donkey.
To make the dream come true, we sat down and developed an ecosystem that we felt could motivate people to use the bicycle as the main means of transportation.
The Airbnb model for bicycles, the Air Donkey.
Air Donkey is not just a product. We bring together the simplicity of Uber, the sharing economy of Airbnb, and the benefits of a bicycle.
The idea is, if you have a bike that you're not using, share it.
All you need to do is sign up to get a donkey kit.
You can now turn your spare bike into a cheap-to-rent mean of transportation that anyone with Air Donkey app can locate and rent.
The donkey lock is easy to mount and is completely theft, rain, and frost-proof. You can recharge the battery with a USB cable and it will last for about a year.
Attach the instruction panel to the handlebar to provide an easy-to-use guide for the system. You can also place Donkey Republic stickers on your bike frame, and it will be easy to locate for any user.
That's it. Your donkey is ready to roll. For bike owners, the system gives you the chance to earn money on having a spare bike while sharing the good values of biking.
You can set your own rental price and define the zone where the user should drop off the bike. If you need additional security, you can use a leash or a chain to lock your bike to something.
Introducing Smart Halo. Smart Halo isn't just another bike accessory. In fact, it's not meant to be removed after each ride. It installs permanently on your handlebar and pairs with your smartphone to turn your bike into a smart bike and provide a biking experience like no other.
Smart Halo's design philosophy has always been centered on simplicity. Biking in cities can be a challenge, so we've made sure our device was simple yet smart. How? By reducing its interface to its simplest possible form, a circle. This luminous halo allows us to communicate an impressive amount of information. Smart Halo finds the quickest, safest routes and bike paths for you to make your ride a stress-free experience. Just input the destination in our app, tuck your phone safely in your pocket, and let Smart Halo take care of the rest. Our unique circular interface allows us to show every type of turn the city can offer. Also, our light patterns warn you in advance of an incoming turn, so you get plenty of time to plan your next move. As soon as you start riding, Smart Halo tracks your bike metrics, your time, distance, average speed, the calories you've burned, as well as your total elevation. Unlike regular fitness apps, you don't need to press start or stop. It does it all seamlessly. You don't even need to take your phone out of your pocket.
It takes most people less than 2 minutes to put a glide cycle together. Here we'll lay the seat out on the ground and then start with the front end. As you learned in your assembly videos, place the front middle tube into the front end. Using the brass locking buttons, slip the tube over and be careful not to catch your finger skin in the pieces as they slide together. Then assemble the rear middle tube into the lower end. Grab the top tube and slide it on to the rear tube, again working with the buttons. This next part could be done on the ground if necessary, but I like just holding the parts up in the air and putting them together. Having the front brake on really helps to stabilize the unit. Now connect the rear long brake cables with the brake quick connect tubes. After that, you're ready to apply the seat. Hold the bike up on your shoulder, attach the rear strap lower first, and then move to the front of the bike. Remember to have your parking brake on the front wheel. Attach your top front strap, your lower front strap, and then your safety strap. And I like to put a little piece of rubber band or a cut inner tube around the top safety strap to keep it quiet when I run. That's all there is to it. Hop onto your glide cycle, adjust your straps for running, take off the parking brake, pull yourself up, and off you go. That's all there is to it. Taking a glide cycle apart is most often faster than putting one together. Here we pull up to the car and use a fast dismount technique that you'll get used to as well. Simply lean it over and step over safely, and you're out of the glide cycle. Remember to put your parking brake on the front. Disconnect your seats. Sometimes you have to loosen the buckle, sometimes not, depending on how tight you had it. Pull the rubber off of the safety strap and drop the seat to the ground. Disconnect your brake cable to the rear and then to the front. And as you see, you can hold the glide cycle up freestanding the whole time. It's also, again, easier if you can lean it against the wall if you'd like. Pull your parts top tube from the rear. Disassemble the tubes as necessary. If you've got a truck, it doesn't need to be quite so disassembled. It fits into the back seat of your car or into the back part of a hatchback very easily. It also could go into the carry bag at this point. Then it's simply a matter of putting the parts into the car. In less than a minute, you can usually put a glide cycle away. Thank you very much.
You click there, and a box appears here. E-commerce is a magic trick that repeats millions of times a day. For a peek at what happens in between, we visited its inventor. This is where an Amazon delivery begins. A building that's 1/3 of a mile long. Ordinarily, it's off limits, but not today. Amazon opened closed doors.
Steady flow.
And opened my eyes.
I don't think it's well understood.
With a footprint equal to 59 football fields, this Amazon fulfillment center is simply mammoth.
We have the packing, the picking, the slamming, the shipping, the receiving.
It's home to an army of employees.
A little bit over 100.
One 6-ton pallet-slinging robot.
We affectionately call it Robo-Stow.
And a squad of box-shuffling cyborgs.
We like to think of it as a symphony between robots and our great associates.
We found a secret at our feet. The floor is covered in tiny QR codes.
It's sort of like a chessboard.
Eyes in the robots' bellies read the codes and broadcast their position. Choreography that keeps your shipment on time and avoids collisions.
They know exactly where to go.
Clicking that yellow button sets these robots in motion, sometimes within seconds. But your order is not handled by Android alone.
drive units, the Amazon robots, are actually bringing items from where they're stored to associates so that associate can pick customer orders and get them ready to ship out.
A real-life human being boxes every Amazon order. As with every department, there's simply no guesswork in choosing the right box.
How do I know which box to pick?
Our technology will tell you.
The computer tells you.
The computer will tell us the perfect size box to fit that item.
From there, it's time to slam it.
Slam.
Fortunately, slam isn't an action. SLAM is an Amazon acronym for adding your address and sending your order home.
Scan, label, apply, manifest.
Orders are constant.
We process thousands and thousands of packages.
The exact number is confidential, but we do know that Amazon sales hit a record $88 billion in 2014, driven by new same-day delivery and selection that no other retailer can touch.
You can't fathom the amount of inventory that we have in the building.
It looks like a lot, and it is. Amazon says those shelves are home to 1 million different items.
1 million.
You think the typical customer realizes that?
Probably not.
We even spotted a toilet in stock.
You name it, we have it.
Chaos and a supersonic conveyor are what we expected. Manager Chris Monnett explained that speed isn't everything.
The important thing is just the flow.
Order levels fluctuate, and yes, there are rush hours. Yet Amazon says its software regulates the line to maintain a steady pace.
In order to have 1 million unique items in this facility, you have to be able to do that.
As gaping, gargantuan, gigantic as this fulfillment center is, it's not alone.
We have 109 fulfillment centers worldwide.
Locally, 59 football fields probably isn't enough either. Our tour guides hinted at expansion, though they wouldn't touch the drone thing.
We did build this facility with room to grow, so stay tuned.
Amazon has taken heat for claims of harsh conditions at its warehouses. Perhaps that's why it granted us access behind the locked gates and let us interview Diane Ortiz.
I'm happy to have you guys.
She recently joined Amazon. Diane works 10-hour days, 4 days a week, is paid more than the national average, and disputes the company's critics.
I think they'll be in awe. Surprised, extremely surprised.
The other reason for our visit is you. This invitation is a rare opportunity to give shoppers an insider's view.
It's an awesome place to order.
To marvel at the robots.
We are very excited about the technology.
To admire the inventory.
1 million.
And to put a face on the company that with the click of a button.
It takes more than that.
Delivers A to Z.
And I love it.
Chris Kamor, Fox 13 News.
Now, although Chris got a private tour there, the public can visit Amazon's fulfillment center as well. There are two catches, though. First, only select centers are open, and the closest to Tampa is in Tennessee. Second, you're going to have to wait until 2016. You got to wait till New Year's. Tourists stop for the holiday rush.
Amazon is a very sophisticated tax player.
Amazon is very much the canary in the coal mine.
They're really doing what a lot of politicians wish more companies would do.
Amazon is a huge company, but do you know just how huge it really is?
We start with amazing Amazon. Somewhere CEO Jeff Bezos is smiling.
It's one of only 2 U.S. companies to ever reach $1 trillion valuation.
No one in history has become as rich as quickly.
It's made Jeff Bezos the richest man in the world.
That is 100 million Prime subscribers globally.
And if you put those Prime subscribers in one country, it would be the 14th largest on the planet. The planet. But that massive company paid no federal income tax on more than $11 billion in profits in 2018. And somehow, they actually got a $129 million tax rebate. So, how do they do it?
The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is passed.
First, there's the tax bill. President Trump's signature tax legislation lowered the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%.
Corporations are literally going wild over this.
That immediately slashed Amazon's potential tax burden. Then there's Amazon's savvy use of revenue. Amazon plows large portions of revenue back into itself to cultivate long-term growth.
Amazon has actually been self-funding for several years now. The company generates significant free cash flow one of the things I like about Amazon is this is a company that doesn't really kind of rest on their laurels and is constantly trying to innovate, is constantly trying to meet the needs of the customer.
This started early on, with Bezos using the strategy to get big fast, helping Amazon eclipse its once arch rival, Barnes & Noble. Since then, it's helped Amazon gobble up countless other retail markets as well, embark on lucrative ventures like Amazon Web Services, and even become a Hollywood studio, with shows like The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Jack Ryan. Amazon has invested so much revenue in itself over the years that sometimes it didn't even make a profit, and when that happened, it could carry forward losses to write off on future tax bills. In 2018, those carry-forward losses eligible for federal write-off amounted to $627 million. Then there's massive federal tax credits, which the company reports are primarily related to research and development. From its AI-assisted logistics network to its suite of consumer electronics products, Amazon has poured tens of billions of dollars into research and development over the years. But that's not the only tax credit Amazon qualifies for.
The big one last year was the expensing that is allowed for investments in plants and equipment and buildings and things of that sort.
Trump's Tax Cuts and Jobs Act supercharged this credit, a perk that Amazon has cashed in on. The idea behind the expanded credit?
The big problem with the U.S. economy is that it has not been as productive recently as in the past. And so one solution which would help sort of companies everywhere is if they invested more in machinery and training to make their workers more productive.
But not everybody buys into this reasoning.
The tax breaks Amazon is getting, they're being rewarded for what they were going to do anyway. Because when you're a company as successful, as profitable, as cash rich as Amazon is, you make investments when you have the money to do them and when you see the need for those investments.
In 2018, Amazon had about $1.4 billion in total available tax credits. Finally, there's the company's use of stock-based employee compensation. Basically, this allows Amazon to pay employees using stock and then take the value of that stock off their tax bill.
Amazon rewards its employees, especially its executives, with stock-based compensation. And Amazon's stock has been rising fairly substantially for many years. And so the size of that stock-based compensation is now very large and affords Amazon a large write-off.
Some say the federal government ends up making just as much in the long run from stock-based compensation because the stock is taxed when it's sold. But others have concerns because of the major difference between the value of the stock when it's offered to employees versus the value when it's written off.
They give executives the right to purchase a certain number of shares of stock at a set price. The price of the stock goes way up. The company is then allowed to write off the value of that stock, and suddenly the tax breaks can be huge.
Amazon deducted about $1.1 billion from its tax liability using this method in 2018. So that's how Amazon secures such a small federal income tax bill. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we should probably remember that Amazon does pay certain taxes, like state taxes, local taxes, other federal taxes, and international taxes. In a statement to CNBC, an Amazon spokesperson said, "Amazon pays all the taxes we are required to pay in the US and every country where we operate, including paying $2.6 billion in corporate tax and reporting $3.4 billion in tax expense over the last 3 years." The company also touted its investments and job creation in the US. But according to data compiled by the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, Amazon had an effective federal tax rate of just 3% over 10 years. That's far below the once 35% corporate income tax rate in the United States, and even the new 21% rate now. And Amazon's story is not exactly unique. Another disruptor, Netflix, and even a more traditional auto company, General Motors, both report expected net federal income tax benefits in their 2018 annual filings. When we asked Netflix about it, the company highlighted the $131 million it paid in taxes total, but wouldn't break out its federal bill. It all seems to be part of a larger trend. Over the past 70 years, we've seen a decline in corporate income tax revenue as a share of the larger economy. And in the last decade, companies as diverse as Southwest and Goldman Sachs, just to name a few, have all had at least a year where they reported net tax benefits in their SEC filings. But could lowering America's corporate tax rate actually make it more competitive for companies to do business here?
I think what a lot of economists would say is that the corporate tax is a very bad tax. One, you have a sort of a global economy where economic activity is everywhere. You have other countries cutting their tax rates. You want to sort of incentivize economic activity to be in your country. What do you want these companies to do? You want them to invest in new machinery, you want them to invest in their workers, you want them to have more profits, which then they can use to invest more. That's what you want corporations to do. You don't want corporations necessarily to be paying lots of taxes, or that's not what they're there for.
Others say it deprives the country of much-needed tax revenue without a lot of benefit.
We may yet succeed in this experiment of lowering our effective tax rates and our statutory tax rates to draw more business to the U.S., but so far we're not seeing the type of level of growth in business and investment that would make up for the lost revenue when we lowered our tax rates from 35 to 21. So yeah, it's an issue because we need the money.
As of 2017, the U.S.'s corporate tax revenue as a share of the larger economy was lower than most other peer nations, ranking below Italy, South Korea, and Mexico.
We're in a lot of trouble. We're facing $1 trillion deficits as far as the eye can see.
Ultimately, this means everyone else has to pick up the slack. That $2 billion Amazon is not paying will have to get paid by smaller businesses that don't have the wherewithal to lobby for tax breaks. It'll get paid by middle-income families in the form of higher taxes in some way.
The reality is, this is how business has been done for years. Corporations with savvy lobbyists on their payroll have found ways to convince politicians in both parties to leave loopholes in the tax code.
So I'm a tax lawyer, and I drafted tax rules for Congress for 6 years. Multinationals have a very strong presence on the Hill. When I was there, we would meet every week with companies and their lobbyists. And I think the interest is disproportionate. I mean, every American, including every American company, has a right to petition Congress and to share their concerns with Congress. The trouble is sometimes those with the most resources have the loudest voice.
But business as usual may be changing, as average Americans have begun to wonder whether this bargain really benefits them. It's a question that came front and center during Amazon's hunt for a second headquarters.
Amazon has made it official. The online giant announced it's splitting its new headquarters into 2 locations.
Crystal City in Northern Virginia and Long Island City in Queens.
The company courted massive interest from hundreds of cities.
Amazon today saying they are bringing at least 25,000 jobs with an average salary of $150,000.
New York's governor and mayor saying the $3 billion in tax incentives they gave Amazon for an expected $27.5 billion in tax revenue would pay off big for New Yorkers.
That is the highest rate of return for an economic incentive program that the state has ever offered.
This certainly consolidates New York City as a great international tech hub.
Despite positive polling on the deal, a groundswell of New Yorkers vehemently disagreeing.
We want to make sure that they know that this community is going to stand up and fight against this deal.
Any politician in this progressive city and our state who's willing to hand off $3 billion to Amazon, that should be a career ender right there, period.
And soon, it all came crashing down.
Breaking news, Amazon canceling its controversial plans.
Now it will not build a headquarters in New York.
The world's biggest company just got sent packing thanks to an unfriendly welcome by New Yorkers.
Has the populist victory in the HQ2 fight changed the game?
I mean, it shows that everyday Americans can have more say in this country than the richest man in the world.
Will it ignite a grassroots movement demanding that loopholes be tightened and the effective tax rate be raised all the way up to the federal level?
We should not have a regressive tax system in which large, profitable corporations like Amazon pay nothing in federal income taxes.
Or is it just a flash in the pan? As even President Trump, a frequent critic of Amazon, came to the deal's defense.
I think it's a loss for New York City. And the $3 billion wasn't a check. It was a form of taxes over a period of time that now they'll never see.
Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure. It's quite normal for some corporations to pay no income tax to the federal government. Is that a normal you're satisfied with?
Okay. We're now at the end of this conclusion of this movie. We hope that you enjoy what you've seen about Amazon and things that you didn't know about Amazon that you can perhaps now take advantage of. And we're going to recommend that you share this information now with as many people as possible, especially those in your immediate family who may not be aware of the techniques, the technology that's afforded to them to protect themselves by having a dash cam in their automobile. And by them having a dash cam in the automobile, they now are putting their automobile in the palm of their hand. And those persons who perhaps are in the driving professions who need dash cams in their cars in order to prevent accidents and show that they were not at fault in the accident, because there would be now a visual camera in their car taking a picture of everything that takes place while you're in the car and also while you're out of the car. It just now here now and afforded in the world. That's what the world is today. We can have a picture of everything that goes on around us, which is safety with ourselves. Okay, buy Can You See I See You is where you want to go now, and buy the guide cycle. You also want to buy yourself a dash cam, and we'll have a free shipping process, because you may have already heard of Amazon Prime. Well, we are Prime, and we can get you your information or whatever it is that you're seeking to purchasing faster than anyone you know, with free shipping. Yes, that's 100% free shipping to wherever you want it shipped, however you want it, fast as you want it shipped to you, 100% free. So, and also we want to reiterate the work from home process, where up to $87.22 an hour, which equates to over $3,341 for 40 hours work. And should you work 80 hours, you can give an idea of what your weekly income or your monthly income will be working through Amazon. It is one of the phenomenals in the world. We're in 12 different countries and the largest retail outlet worldwide. I want to thank you for letting us take up so much of your valuable time at this present time. We hope for you to share this information that we said earlier with your immediate family, your loved ones, your co-workers, and anyone that you know that will perhaps benefit from having the information that you now have with regards to Amazon that you didn't know before this presentation started. I want to thank you for letting us take up some of your time again, and hopefully to have a good day. Bye-bye. Be blessed.